2D sandbox games have come and gone in the gaming industry, with many being forgotten not too long after their initial release. But within this genre, there is one game that has managed to stay relevant ever since its debut on May 16th of 2011, and that game is Terraria. Terraria has spread vastly across the gaming community, being known as one of the most passion-driven and in-depth sandboxes ever conceptualized, and has garnered a large and dedicated following because of it. Because of Terraria's immense success and popularity, many people in the community wanted a sequel to the game in hopes of creating a new but familiar game that would give the fans more of what they wanted. The sequel Terraria fans hoped for surprisingly started development, but what followed after its initial announcement is not what many would have expected, and what it did to help save Terraria from a slow and possible decline. This is the story of Terraria Otherworld and how it saved Terraria. On March 3, 2015, a GDC trailer was revealed by Relogic, with the game in question being referred to as Terraria Otherworld. The game shown was much like Terraria, having a familiar interface along with the much expected sandbox element from Terraria, but this did not make it even remotely close to a clone to Terraria. The graphics and atmosphere were completely changed, with new and intriguing biomes shown within the trailer, alongside completely revamped combat and movements, such as swing grappling shown on the Relogic YouTube channel on December 29th of 2015. But of all these new additions that were being shown, I believe none compare to one feature that seemingly was the main focus of the game. Within the trailer, there are multiple points where the player is protecting certain machines from monsters. These machines look to be cleansing the areas that surround them of corruption, which leads me to believe that the main focus of the game would be to completely eliminate the world evil. Now, cleansing the corruption was already a feature in Terraria, but even though it was very helpful and made for less of a hassle when exploring, it never really felt like the game pushed you to completely rid the world of evil, apart from the Dryad telling you that your glorious Terraria world needs a lot of work. I think if this was truly the main focus of the game, it would have added an interesting variety to it, as it feels like it would almost add a tower defense aspect to the game, alongside possibly having drastic effects to the world if not dealt with, and making the player have a sense of motivation to rid the world evil. Now that we have gone over everything we could notice or speculate about the game's footage that was shown, it's unfortunately time that I of course have to talk about its cancellation. In 2018, Relogic announced that all development of Terraria Otherworld would be cancelled, stating that Otherworld would never reach its full potential in any sort of reasonable time or fashion. This disappointed many of Relogic's fanbase, with everyone who could not wait for the game's release being left with nothing to look forward to. However, even though this was unfortunate to hear, Otherworld's cancellation is something that I believe was a vital event to save Terraria from falling out of relevancy and possibly even avoiding a decline in the game's popularity. The reason I say this is because if Otherworld continued its development, it was entirely possible that Relogic could have shifted all focus to Otherworld and could have possibly set Terraria on the side of their team's priorities completely. This shift in attention to Terraria could have also had its 1.4 update to have an extremely low probability of being released or worked on at all even. And this is why I believe Terraria Otherworld's cancellation is what will actually cause Terraria to last longer in relevancy and popularity. If you look at Terraria since the release of its 1.4 Journey's End update, it became more relevant than ever, with many of the people and content creators who could have left the game deciding to come back to it and seeing the vast array of new content and changes they added to the game. While Terraria 1.3 was certainly an amazing update and all the changes it added were extremely helpful in making the game more enjoyable, I think everyone can agree that Terraria 1.4 changed the landscape of the game in a variety of aspects, and even now beyond the update, the developers are still making quality of life changes to keep the player base excited and overall having a more enjoyable experience as a whole within their playthroughs. In conclusion, I believe Terraria Otherworld's cancellation, while unfortunate, was most likely for the best and overall helped the developers continue to increase the quality of the game. But anyways, thanks to everyone who watched throughout the whole video, and if you enjoyed, you should slap that like button and jump into a watering hole. This has been Diet Dirt, and I'll see you guys in the next video.